Today I'm filming my February wrap-up. I really don't have much to show you what I've read in February. As a kind of side note, my February this past month was a little crazy, personally, and just all kinds of... My month was all over the place. Some personal things happened in my life, and it kind of led me not to read as much because I didn't have much time because I was focusing on other stuff and stressing and blah 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 blah. But anyway, hopefully in February, kind of this month is February, hopefully in March I will have a better reading month. At least I hope I will, and hopefully I can get back on track with reading as much as I want to. But the first book that I read in the month of February was Reality Boy by A.S. King. This was, not only was my February intense because of things that happened in my personal life with friends and family and blah blah blah, but this book was also not my cup of tea, and I think that kind of led to me slowly not reading as much. I really did not like this book. I don't know what else there is to say exactly about it, but it's about a boy named Gerald who was on a reality TV show, kind of like a Nanny 911 show. He was on a Nanny 911 type show when he was younger, and he was known on the TV show as the crapper because lots of times the TV cameras would show him pooping, because that was kind of like his rebellion. When he was younger, he would just poop, and so basically the whole entire world saw him pooping on camera, and that has like basically scarred him for the rest of his life. I think it was interesting the fact that A.S. King showed like reality TV shows and how obviously reality TV shows are not exactly totally real. A lot of them are staged. I thought that part of the book was very interesting, but while I was reading this book, I genuinely thought about not finishing this book, which is something I literally never do. I always finish books, but things were crazy in my own life, and then I just didn't like the book. But I started reading reviews of this book on Goodreads while I was reading it, kind of as a way to like keep myself going. Like, I read really positive reviews and really negative reviews, which is what I always do before I buy a book. I look at both sides of what people thought about it. And I was reading, I think it was a negative review, and someone didn't finish this book either, and I was curious as to why. And I read her review, and I totally agree with what she said. She basically said that she had to stop reading this book because this book just got her into such a mindset where she just was negative with life. Like, she just hated life. Everything that she saw in life was negative. And that was how I felt reading this book too. It was hard to read because the main character is just so negative. He's so violent. He has such crazy thoughts about, like, he wants to kill all these characters. He wants to kill all these people. He's just a very angry kid. And I do genuinely understand why, and I do feel bad for people like him, but it was just hard for me to read that, and it was hard for me to read that based on what I was going through in my own life, and also just in general, like, while I was reading this book, I was just mad, I was angry, like, everything just, like, I don't know, it just put me in such a mindset where just everything was so annoying, like, life was just so annoying, and I was just so mad at everything and everyone, and it made sense to me after reading this review. I was like, okay, so maybe there is a reason why this is happening, but then I just kind of steamed through the rest of the book and read it, and I can appreciate it for the reality TV show aspect of it, and I do genuinely feel for kids who are like Gerald, who are upset with the world, and I do feel bad for them, but for me this book just wasn't my cup of tea. The next book I read after this one, which isn't really a book, it's more of a short story, but I kind of wanted to like help myself feel better and just want to quickly read a book because obviously this book's so short. I read The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn. I received that book for free from Blogging for Books a few months ago, and I just hadn't read it yet. It is a psychological thriller, as all of Gillian Flynn's books are. I have not read Gone Girl, although I do own it, and I do hope to read all of her longer books that aren't the short story of The Grown Up like I'd read. The Grown Up, it was honestly so good. Such a short book, but it had so much in it, and I felt like I genuinely had a whole story in it. My mom also read the book, and she did not like it because she thought that it didn't have a whole story. But even though this book is like 64 pages, I felt like I honestly got a full story. I really don't want to say much of what it's about because I really feel like even just saying a little bit about it will kind of ruin it. But this book was so good, and I read it obviously in like an hour or so. And while I was reading it, I was texting back and forth with people, and I had my ringtone on, which is something I never do. And like even hearing the ringtone, like I was so into this book that it like scared me because the book was so creepy and so weird. But I really enjoyed this book, and I really hope to read a lot more of psychological thrillers. The last book I read / am reading in February, I probably will finish this by the end of February, at least I'm hoping I will, because I'm going on a road trip, and I'm going home, and you know, all that free time reading, basically, where I'm doing nothing else, is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I decided to read this book because first of all, the movie's coming out. I was going to wait until the movie was closer to coming out, but I didn't want to wait till June because I'm just so excited to read this book. It's currently amazing. I'm like halfway through it and I absolutely love it. Words are hard because this book's just so good, but I love it. I really do. But even today I was reading on the bus stop and I almost missed my bus stop because I was so into reading the book and I was so into the story of it. For those of you who don't know what it's about this girl named Louisa Clark who becomes basically like an aide to this guy named Will Traynor who is in a wheelchair, and it's just about their relationship and friendship that develops over time, and I absolutely love it. For a while, I know this book is very, very sad, so while I was in my own personal things, I thought about quitting this book and starting it sometime later, because I don't really feel like crying. I don't really feel like going through sadness all over again, because that's pretty much been my whole past month, not to be depressing about it. That's pretty much been the past month I've lived, so I wanted to get something happy, and I was going to stop in and read a different book, but I thought, no, I can handle it. It'll be rough, but everyone cries, and right now, the book has so much hype because the trailer came out, and there were some people who saw the trailer and then picked up the book right after seeing the trailer, so yes, I'm excited, and I will give you more of a wrap-up once I actually finish this book, probably in March. So I only read 3 books this month, and although I'm sad about it and I wish I'd read more, I kind of have to just deal with the fact that sometimes life comes in the way of reading. That is all I have for you today, and I will see you next time.